Well, hello, welcome, another one. Today, this evening, I guess, because it's already late. Yeah. It's kind of an Angus / Impala mix video. And I'm sure you can guess by the title, yep, they're put away for the winter. Now, I know, I know, I've winterized vehicle videos for the last couple of years. And I think I promised last year that I would show how to winterize a vehicle outside. It's going to stay outside. And Angus is staying outside for the winter. So let's get into this and yeah, let's winterize up Angus. As you can see, he is on my car hauler. That's where he's going to live for the winter. And reason for that is because it's up off the ground. You can see where I've parked the car hauler for the last couple of years and it kills the grass, but you get the moistures that come up, and when it does that, it rusts out stuff. So the further up off the ground or on concrete, probably the better. I'm thinking this is probably going to be my best option. So it's on there nice, tucked out of the way on the back side of the yard here, and we're good. Now, some other options you got on a budget, if you're just gonna store a car for the winter, get a tarp tent. They're a couple $100, and as you probably saw, other side of Angus there, got a tarp tent. Bert was stored in there for the last, I don't know, couple of years. Problem being with that is the moistures again, right on the ground, and it traps moisture inside there. It's kind of like a greenhouse effect. I guess choose your battle. It worked, kept rain off. Gets a lot of snow on it, has to get brushed off. If it were to collapse, you know, it's going to collapse right onto whatever. Right now, like riding lawnmower, just stuff that if it collapses, I don't really care. It's salvageable, but vehicle, it's a little bit different when you get a collapse on that. So as you guys know, we got that topper, and it's not weather sealed around. I have a sealer, I didn't put it in there. I got some odds and ends that I'm going to be storing in here that I don't want in the garage for the winter. So they're going in here and getting closed up. The stuff that I put in here, I really don't care. That's an outdoor cooler and chairs or whatever, and tire. I mean, if they get wet, they get wet. Those I actually picked up for another project coming up here, to be determined, out of an 03 Tahoe. Anyways, so once you got your spot picked out like I did, Angus up on the trailer, now we're gonna go through and we're gonna winterize. And when you winterize something outside, you gotta worry about critters, rodents.
Oh, hell no.
Birds, just animals in general. They like to get in, find warmth for the winter. And when they get in there, they get hungry. And what do? They start chewing on stuff, and they make meese nests and all sorts of that nasty, gross stuff. Well, yeah, I think I found it. So I always like to start inside, and some people use dryer sheets. Let me show you what I use. Bought that stuff a couple years ago, and it works really well. And what is it? I don't know. It's a mint. Actually refilled this because this was kind of pricey. This was like 15, 20 bucks. And I noticed it was just peppermint. So that got me thinking, well, what else can I use that's peppermint? Pure peppermint extract. Now this stuff's a lot cheaper. You can go to Menards and pick it up. I think I picked this stuff up for $6 for 2 of them, and it's concentrated. So I dump 1 bottle of this into my squirter bottle, fill the rest up with water, and we got peppermint. So why peppermint? I don't know. Mice and rodents, they hate it. And the rodent vehicle protection, when I opened this thing up, it worked really well, and it smells mighty minty. It's a high strength spray. And it says it has essential oils in it. Well, that peppermint extract stuff, that's essential oil, I think. Cooking, it's a concentrated peppermint oil. So it's the same thing for cheaper. Anyways, So let's get into it. We're gonna start, you know, in the back, because that's where I just showed you some stuff that I had stored. And I don't want it to get all chewed up. Now, don't be afraid to just, you know, go to town, spray your stuff down. It's minty. It's minty. You can do a lot, you can do a little bit. I spray enough in the back. I'm not really too concerned with what's back here. Oh, I have to adjust that. I'm gonna call that good enough for back here. If you got anything else like window seals or anything like that, bigger gaps you really don't want critters to get in, take like a piece of what is that stuff? Steel wool, scratch pads, steel wool. Shove it in there. They don't like the prickliness of it, so you'll definitely keep them out that way. My back is sealed up. We got it mint oiled up. So now I'm going to move to the cab. Sorry for the light. I'm going to make this kind of a quicker one on Angus and then move on to the purple car. So in here, you want to seal up everything too. Make sure your windows are all the way rolled up. You know, back slider if you had that, which I don't. That's all taken care of. Go to town with this peppermint extract and just spray it. Make it minty. I'm sure if you can get like mint air freshener hangers too, that would probably work out really well. But I don't have them, so I'm just going to use this minty spray in here. So now we got the inside smelling like a piece of spearmint bubble gum. Go ahead and remove anything out of it that you might need, or it's been sitting in there, or you, I don't know, ratchet straps or tools or anything you've left in there that you might need. This is your last chance, because we're going to seal this thing up for the winter and we're not going to be in and out. So grab all that stuff out. Once you get all that done, get yourself your favorite flavor of Armor All or kind of UV protectant, and go ahead and at least spray down your dash so you don't crack it. Go thick with it, be generous with it. If you got leather seats, spray it on there and just let it sit. Don't even rub it in, because you want all the oil and everything from the you know, this stuff to sit on there and soak into the you know, vinyl and all that stuff. Why? Because it cracks out and it gets gross and it's dry in the winter and it's bad. Told ya. I sprayed the living crap out of it. Those dash speaker things, those always crack out, so we want to make sure that's all nice and coated. Everything, just coat the hell out of it. Make it rain. And let it sit. And when it sits, it'll soak in and it won't be cracked. I will say, probably if you got it, wipe off your windshield, because that will, for whatever reason, it tends to fog it up. So make sure and clean off your windshield, and at least, but let that stuff sit, and I'm gonna call that good. So it's getting a little dark out, but you can see that we got her wiped down. I did throw a visor up there because I just had it and I really don't use it, so I might as well just put it there. Anything to keep UV rays off. Yeah, so on the passenger side here, you know, like I mentioned, you got anything you want to take out, like I found my flashlight that probably want out of here. Flashlight out, and yeah, now I'm gonna lock her up. Collar done on this side. All right, so what I did is my exhaust pipes, I don't know if you can see them, I threw bags over the tips of them, try to prevent some of that moisture from creeping in. And under the hood, I went ahead and I disconnected the battery, and anything else you want to, you know, you don't want critters to get into, you know, seal it off. Put this bag over my intake, and I'm gonna spray it down with the peppermint stuff. It almost looks like, oh, it's just stuff blowing in there. But yeah, now I'm gonna spray it down with peppermint stuff. Make sure to get in all those little nooks and crannies on the edges, what have you. And we'll move on to our last step under the hood. All right, so got her all smelling minty, fresh goodness. And the last thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a little bit of petroleum jelly, and we're gonna coat up our terminals, making sure to get around the base of the battery. You know, just because we don't want moisture creep on those. And then for whatever reason, if this battery decides it wants to start leaking, it won't put out a crap ton of battery acid. And if it does, hopefully, maybe it already is because it's already wet down there. Huh. Hopefully this petroleum jelly will help kind of, you know, seal her in, make her not so leaky, not so, but stop yelling at me. I'm trying to make a point here and do work. We're trying to not have a bunch of, you know, metal work, having the battery acid leak down and rust out the inner wheel well thing, okay? I bet you're thinking, well, why don't you just bring it inside and store it inside and everything else? Which you could. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't want to. I'm gonna leave it out here because it's one less step I gotta do to take the battery out, throw it on the charger, you know, all that crap. Okay, I'm gonna finish doing this up and then we're gonna move inside. All right, so it's getting dark. I want to get this done before it gets too terribly dark. The last thing we're going to do now is I'm going to cover the whole thing with a tarp. And after I get this covered up, I'll go through and explain pros and cons. Well, next day, got the bungees on the front. I got my daisy chains on the side here, zip ties. Got a little bit of weather last night. You can see it's still on the ground, but we're good. I did put little foam noodles in the front there so tarp doesn't flip-flop on the paint, cause any more severe scratches than what it already has. Yeah, so we're good there. So as I mentioned, I'm going to check on this here every so often. Rabbits like to eat bungee cords for whatever reason. Zip ties, they don't really care. So that's that. Let's move on to the Impala and get that winterized. Oh, hey, here I am. Yeah, I'm trying out my new selfie stick so you guys can get like floating stuff and whatever else. I've had this thing for a while. I just don't want to use it because I don't know, I feel weird talking on a stick phone. But anyways, so it is a couple days later. We're after Thanksgiving now, and as you can see, I didn't really get to the Impala, but we're going to get to it today because it's got to get done. And what I failed to mention when I was, you know, filming Angus there, getting winterized, fuel, coolant, make sure your coolant is properly winterized and you got the proper sufficient, you know, it's cold, it's not going to freeze and crack your block. And then you want to make sure that you got your fuel stabilized with a stabilizer, because fuel stabilizer will keep any ethanol fuel from gelling up. There's many types of it. I'm not going to recommend one because I've used them all and they all do the same thing. Get the cheapest one. That's all I can say. Anyways, so now moving on to the Impala, we're going to do exactly the same thing. I've already put fuel stabilizer in this because, as you can see, it's off in a corner of the garage. Yeah, I know. It's in the corner. So the way that the garage is set up is I got and I got so I can fit two cars in here. Plan's going to be I was going to park in and out of here or work on stuff during the winter. And I moved all my toolboxes and everything that was up over here, and I put the Impala on dollies and I strategically placed it up over there now. So There it is. With that, I made sure to get in here and do some stuff, you know, beforehand. So we disconnected the battery, we put the fuel stabilizer in it, checked the coolant. Garage usually stays about 40. I don't have the heat on, so I'm not too worried about coolant. But we still need to go ahead and winterize it because it's dry even in the garage. So in the beginning of this video, I mentioned there's two types of kind of winterizing. If you're going to store it outside and whatever else and blah, 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 blah. Rewind the last beginning of this video and rewatch that. Or if you put it in the garage. We got our own little problems that we have when we park it in the garage. First off being, you can see it's already been in here for a couple weeks, and look, it's got, you know, dust. We get accumulation of dusts and everything on there. And if you got nicer paint, you want to make sure to cover. I got a car cover. We'll put that on. That'll be the very last thing, but it's going to get dusty. It's going to get dirty. It's going to get nasty. We do have to make sure and protect it though, because we don't want it. So I would say good wash. I went through, wash this thing, give it a good coat of wax, ceramic, whatever you guys use. I don't know. Protect the paint, you know, because stuff in the garage falls on it. Now, we got the engine stuff already taken care of. Sorry I didn't show you that. Fuel tanks, that's already taken care of. Now, talking paint. Now we're going to move to the inside. So let's move to the inside. Just like with anything, you're going to want to go ahead and make sure and get all your stuff out of it. So if there's anything you don't really care about that's in there, you know, I guess I didn't unhook the battery because we still got lights. Anyways, but if you got stuff in here you want to pull it out. You know, these folders, they're just for work-related stuff, so I just leave them in there. Oh, that's where my laptop went. Yeah, kind of became a collection of, you know, just throwing some odds and ends in there. So clean all that stuff out. We'll go ahead and pull that out. Check the trunk out. Make sure there's nothing in there. I'll do that right now, actually. Kind of hard working in all these kind of conditions, you know. It just... Maybe it's a good thing the battery didn't die, because I can't get over on the other side. Jeez, come on. Tucked away in a corner, I tell you what. Alright, so what do we got in the trunk here? That's where that went. I've been looking for that. See? It pays to look for stuff everywhere. Other than that, trunk is cleaned out. I ain't lying to you. Trunk is cleaned out. So, we'll call that good, I guess. I don't know. I mean, you could vacuum it out if you want to. I'm not going to, because we'll do a spring cleaning when we get it out, and we'll vacuum it out then. So let me just show you how tight that is over there, too. Holy crap. Oh, she's tight up against the wall. Some of you might have been asking, well, how are you going to get that stuff over there off? I guess if I really need to get over there and get the wipers that are old, that I've already replaced on the vehicles off, or get to a caulk gun, even though I have 5 of them laying around, or light, that I have 5 laying around. Maybe the OBD2 scanner. I don't really think that anything I have driving right now has got OBD2. We ain't gonna need it. But if we do, we'll burn that bridge when we get there. I don't know, maybe just open the door, roll down the window, hook the battery up kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not worried about it. You guys are really worried about that kind of stuff. Anyways. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff out of here that matters. And then we're going to go on to our detailing the inside. another thing, if you got little bottles of stuff, hand sanitizer or whatever, take it out. Hey, there's that wrench we lost. Still had it in there. Take those out. Not really sure why, but it seems to be that chemicals, even though those hand sanitizers are alcohol and it's hard to freeze, they do something to the interior when they freeze or get cold. I don't know what it is, but they just kind of either explode or I don't know. They just leave some kind of residue all over the dang everything in there. So you got any of that out, take it out. Bottles of water, you know, they might freeze. So anyways, so now we're going to move on to same thing that we did with Angus there. We're going to get the Armor All and we're going to Armor All the dash because my God, if this dash cracks out, I'm going to be hangry. Then I'll have to eat a sandwich and fix a dash that I don't want to fix. Okay, so where the hell did my Armor All go? Oh, it's up here. Refillable stuff. So secret being, you buy one of those and you just buy these refillable things. I think last time I just bought this one, it was like 20 bucks. I don't know. But those are like getting to be $8, $9 a piece and you can just keep refilling them. So do that. Also, these things, don't use them. For whatever reason, they do say protectant wipe on them, but they also have like some kind of a scent in them. And I think that the scent kind of is counterintuitive to what the actual protectant does. It just, they don't work. And then they dry out. And then you're taking your $20 bottle of that stuff, putting it in here and shaking it all up to get the wipes to work, and then that dries out. So don't use those. Also, make sure if you do decide to use those that you get the ones that say protecting on it at least and not get the ones that just say cleaning on them and think you're protecting your stuff, because this is a degreaser kind of wipe. It won't protect your finish. It's going to wipe all the oils off of it. You're going to be not happy. So just pay attention and read the labels on what you're using. So we used, and I guess, pretty much just some kind of like shop towel disposable thing. Here I got a old shirt that's clean. Cotton, lint free. I like to use these in the Impala because I don't know, I'm weird. But anyway, so I can already see the dash is pretty dry. I mean, it looks like your hands in the winter. And you got to put the O'Keeffe's on there. So, do her up. Just let it soak. Wipe it on. Don't wipe it off. Wipe it on. Wipe it in. Get it so it's nice and shiny. I guarantee you leave it nice and shiny and very moist on here. Come springtime when you get your vehicle out, it'll be thirsty again, ready for some more. But it won't crack out these little edges that always crack out. So Chris is going to go through and do all this. I'm going to focus on the dash. I'm going to focus on my door panels. I'm going to focus on my seats. High wear areas, make sure to put a lot more on than normal. So let's get all this done. That looks like I'm gonna have to wash the window again because that will fog up my window. Okay, go. Oh, hey there. Didn't see you. Already got the other stuff. You can tell I'm running out. You be generous with it. I can't stress that enough. All right. Okay. Well, just went through, spray away off all my overspray from the window up there. And now a sad panda part. Because this is when we got to seal up the inside and kind of not see it till spring. Which it's almost the beginning of December right now. Thankfully, it's been quite a mild fall. December, January, February, March, April. Maybe we'll get it out in April. We got it out April this year. That's going to be 5 months. 5 months as bad boys. Nope, bad girls going to be sitting here. And it's already been sitting here about a month. So 6 months out of the year. Why do I live in this state? It's not funny, Chris. Anyways, after I reset there, ouch, old. So let's move on to disconnecting the battery, putting the car cover on it. At this point, if you want to go through and you have indoor storage, but you might have rodents or critters. There's a leaf over there. You might have rodents or critters in your garage. It happens. It does. Go ahead and spray down the rodent protectant, peppermint oil spray. You know, even get some bait blocks. I think I got, yeah, right there. Right there. That thing right there. That's a bait block, just in case. It's a mousetrap. Bait. Poison. Anyways, do all that stuff up. I'm not going to spray this down. I'm pretty confident that we should be good. So I'm just going to unhook the battery and put some, I don't know, what was that stuff that we put on the battery on Angus? Petroleum jelly. Yeah, we're going to put that on there. And we're going to call this good. You can pull your batteries out, put them on a battery tender, battery charger. I'm not going to. I'm just going to unhook it, okay? So, not going to bore you with that. It's pretty much standard. So, it's kind of like the Terminator scene fading out when he's at the end there. So one thing I'm trying this year, and you may notice, is I got these wheel dollies. Place it over here strategically. Used to be last year I'd pull it in and out and it just sat in the spot where the camera's sitting right now. Allowed me to fire up the engine, do whatever. But this year, staying on dollies, every year I come out, get it out, start driving around, I notice I have flat spots on the wheels. From where they sit on the ground, they get flat spots and you're shaking and you got to work it out of it. Usually they come back around, but it's not good. These dollies have a little like divot in them, I guess. The back ones are more bigger. So my hope is that it'll keep it more round for the winter. I don't know, I'm just guessing, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'll try. I'm doing these ones and those ones to see. I don't know what I'm doing. So if you don't have the dollies and you get it over wherever, I mean, you can always place it up on jack stands, keep the wheels off, put some winter tires on, rims, keep them. I don't know what you're gonna do. This is what I'm doing. Okay. Now we'll leave that like that. So when we gotta pop the hood in April or whatever and charge the battery up, we can do it really anyway. Throw our car cover on. Now, this is a bulge car cover. Had it for a while, and it's probably starting to be time to get replaced, but it's supposed to be weatherproof. It's really not weatherproof. It's supposed to be made for an Impala. It's not really made for an Impala. Choose your car covers well. This is like a soft material that will not scratch the paint. That's why I chose it. It does get a label here for front. Also, they have, where are they at? I just don't know why. Oh, there they are. These little nylon things on the side here. There's a specific way that they're supposed to go so you can tie it from underneath. Problem being is this flaps in the wind. Some of you may notice, some of you, I have quite the little chafing scar mark right there, and that's from flapping in the wind from when I parked it somewhere where it was windy outside. It wasn't even the winter, it was just, I haven't put my car cover on yet. Let me show you. Oh, yeah. See that right there? Yeah. Yeah. Worn right through the paint. So that's what I mean, is you got to choose your battle with either a car cover or tarp. Pick what you're going to do, because you're going to get some chafing from the wind blowing and all that stuff. Anyways, back to putting this. Suppose two people would be good for something like this. Bumpers are just going to be exposed. Okay. Yeah, I could stretch it out a little more, I guess. I don't know if it's tight. Majority of the dust will stay off of it, so I'm going to call that good enough. Highly recommended at this point to not put anything on top of your Impala or whatever car you're storing if you don't want to get scratches and dents on it. I don't know why anyone would want to put anything on top of vehicle. I don't know. Just how it goes sometimes. Anyways, so don't put anything on top of your car, because the time you put something on there and you don't realize you're going to cave in the roof, you're going to cave in the hood, you're going to get dents in there. Just don't put anything in your car. It also buries it, and then it makes it you not want to get it out. Don't do it. So we'll leave this as is. I'm going to put my doors and everything back together, and we're going to wrap this video up because, like always, I got to go to work. So there it is. One winterized 1995 Chevrolet Impala SS and one 1981 Chevrolet C10. One outdoors, one indoors. Both long-term winter storage. Some are the similars. You get similarities to them. Some, I don't know. There's different aspects to it, as I mentioned. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing. It would help me out tremendously. It would fulfill my fantasy to just work in my garage all the time and not have to go work at the railroad, because honestly, after 15 years at the railroad, I'm just kind of worn out of railroading. Think of that retirement. Anyways, but drop me a comment below. Share the video or not. It is what it is. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. See you in the next one.